Hi, everybody. You're watching the live Monica Makes It Happen show. Over 200 shows, and each one, our mission is always to help. If it's just one person watching, wherever you are, tonight's show is all about how to navigate winter blues in the workplace. Such an important show for your friends and families. Make sure you comment live, ask questions, because right now, joining us, which is really exciting, is an HR expert, Barbie Winterbottom. She is an HR expert and a people strategy expert. I love that. She is joining us live to answer all of your questions and help employees handle seasonal depression in the workplace.
Monica Makes It Happen is sponsored by London Disability, dedicated to helping the disabled get Social Security benefits.
Barbie is joining us now live. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Barbie.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, let's talk about winter blues and having the winter blues versus depression. What's the difference?
So there's a distinct difference between depression and the winter blues. The winter blues is caused because we do not have as much exposure to the bright sunlight during the winter months in some geographies as we do during spring, summer, and even autumn. Our bodies are biologically programmed to respond to that bright light. So when we wake up in the morning and it's dark outside and we go to work and it's dark outside, our brain doesn't receive that bright light trigger to wake up. And when we leave work and it's still dark outside, we never had that bright light exposure, which triggers chemical and hormonal responses within our bodies to say, hey, wake up, it's time to go to work and do all the things we do during a typical day, which can put us into a lethargic state because our brains and bodies never really wake up the way we traditionally do during months where we have longer days of sunshine and we have that direct sun exposure.
Amazing is that we're hearing from the American Family Physician up to 20% of Americans experience this. So people watching right now on Facebook could have this and not even know it.
It's very common, a lot more common than people realize, especially in geographies up in the northeast of the United States, Alaska, the Northwest, where it really gets dark at 3:30 in the afternoon and doesn't get bright until maybe 9:30 or 10 in the morning. Some people who work traditional work schedules never get that exposure.
Telltale signs, like how do we know we have it?
So there are a couple of things. One, it's important to know your own mood and how your typical mood is during any given day. And when you feel changes, that's a sign. When you're not feeling as happy, you're feeling more grumpy, you have a more negative outlook, you lack focus or the ability to concentrate, when you don't have a desire to do your traditional activities, playing with your kids, walking your dog, engaging in conversation with coworkers, all of those things can be signs that something's off and your brain isn't working in the way it traditionally does.
I want to say hi to Missy Marie. Missy Marie, hi. Thanks for always watching and supporting us right here on Facebook. We love our Facebook audience. Now, you told us the telltale signs. Now, if people are saying, okay, I have this, I need to cope with this, should I take an extended vacation or leave of absence? Not everybody can do that. I can't knock on my boss's door and say, hey, what do you suggest?
So there's a few things you can do while you're at work. When you have break times, try to, if the weather permits, go outside, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes when the sun is shining, and get that vitamin D and that sun exposure, the bright light exposure. Or take your lunch by a window that's really well lit, so you're, again, getting that exposure to the sun. If that's not an option, there are lights that you can buy specifically to provide that sunlight experience. And the good thing about the lights is that they don't have the UV rays, so you're getting the light without the damage of the UV. So those are really great, and you can get them from $50 on up, so they're pretty affordable for most people.
And hi, Rochelle Brown, for watching as well. We have people popping in. We really appreciate that. Now, some tips. What can we do? We know the problem, but what are some of the solutions what can we do immediately?
So I think if you're leading people in the workplace, it's important for you to identify the signs. Again, you know your employees, you know their regular behavior, their regular work product. When you start to see shifts there, when you see people starting to self-isolate, their work isn't getting done on time, they seem generally disengaged, it might be a sign that they're struggling with depression. And so offering them options and resources, or simply sitting them down and having a conversation, can help someone feel significantly better. So as a leader, it's important to know who your people are, how they traditionally behave, and when you see something different, say something to them in a kind, supportive way.
I love that. Kindness, that's all we want. And set a routine.
Yes, setting routines is huge. Again, we're talking about brain chemistry and the way our bodies work. So if you get up at the same time every morning, you go to work at the same time every day, you go to bed at the same time every night, if you are someone who has the ability to exercise, whether it's inside on a treadmill or taking a brisk walk, trying to do those things at the same time every day helps train your body to know it's time to wake up, it's time to go to work, it's time to think, or it's time to rest. So keeping a routine, as hard as it can be at times, is actually incredibly helpful to overcoming seasonal depression.
Great. And we have some good questions coming in. Missy is saying, depression and mental illness need more research. How do you know the difference? And Lisa LaRosa says, would vitamin D help? Could you answer those two?
Unfortunately, I am not a physician, and I want to be, or a mental health therapist. So I want to be very clear that my guidance or advice is based on my experience in leading people and my experience in human resources and working with large organizations. That being said, I think, well, vitamin D, we're all pretty low in that from the statistics that I've read. So I know that vitamin D is something that we can all benefit from taking. But the first thing I would do is check with your physician, check with your mental health provider on specific things, if there are medications that could help you or specific therapies. Talk therapy is one of the best ways to help yourself get through this, because it gives you that connection and that outlet to share what's going on with you.
In breaking development here, Edward is watching. Hi, Edward. And he's saying he's having trouble sleeping. One of the signs of having seasonal affective disorder, right?
It is. It can be, because we're in that, we are not functioning at our optimal selves. So we're not releasing, great amounts of energy throughout the day, which tires our bodies out and then helps us sleep at night. So a good option is, can you build some exercise into your routine so your body releases that pent up energy that you're storing so that you can relax? Breathing exercises and meditation can really help to calm your mind and your body so that you can sleep at night. Those are some things. Melatonin is something that a lot of folks use during seasonal depression as well, because it tells your body it's time to sleep. And that's something that most people can access over the counter without a prescription. And it's very low doses can really help someone's brain to turn off and help their body drift into sleep.
Let's talk more specifically about the workplace. That third tip, offering management training opportunities at work. What does that mean?
Yeah, so as leaders in an organization, it's important that you train every person managing other people on signs of seasonal depression. Like we discussed, when people aren't finishing their work, or it's getting sloppy, they're missing deadlines, or they're missing work. They're not even able to get into work either on time or in a regular cadence. Those could all be signals that someone is suffering from seasonal depression. And being able to pick up the phone or send an email or a text, or however you communicate with your employees, to say, are you okay? Do you need support? Here's a hotline you can call. Most employers who offer health insurance benefits also offer an EAP line, an employee assistance line, and most of them offer a certain amount of free therapy sessions with their EAP plans. So there are resources available for employees, but a lot of managers kind of shy away from these types of conversations. So the training is to help those people leaders and managers know how to engage with an employee who might be suffering in a supportive, kind way, right? We're not judging them. We're not accusing them. We're saying, hey, I see something a little bit different here. This is outside of your normal behavior or your normal patterns. Is something going on? Would you like to talk about it? Here's some resources available to anyone who wants them. And you can do it confidentially. You don't have to tell anybody, but we want you to be okay. We want you to feel supported. What can I do to help you?
Such a great boss. I just adore what you're saying. And you know what, just so you know, we've been putting phone numbers at the bottom, that 988 helpline. Get this, registered 154,585 more calls and texts and chat messages during November 2022. That's compared to the old National Lifeline in 2021. That's according to the latest data. And so that really shows that what we're talking about is so important. And thank you so much for helping us navigate the ins and outs and start a conversation with our employers and with our coworkers. Now, we always like to end with a little bit of hope. What do you want to tell someone who might think that they might be suffering from it or know someone? Or how do they start that conversation, and how do you give them hope?
I think the first thing to do when you initiate the conversation is, I want you to know I care about you and your well-being. I'm noticing some changes. Are you okay? Is there anything you want to talk about? If you're not comfortable talking with me, let's look at what resources are available. Here's a phone number. You can text this number. Here's a brochure or a pamphlet. So sharing the options that someone has is really important. And simply making that human connection can do more for someone than you even realize. We spend a third of our lives at work. The connections we have with coworkers are meaningful and they're real. And we don't often recognize that, but we spend a majority of our lives with coworkers and we truly do care about them. So show them that you care. And it's okay to have a difficult conversation with someone when you're coming at it from a place of empathy and true compassion versus judgment, right? We're not here to judge anybody. We're here to help them.
That's so true. And Edward, Missy, everyone, Lisa, everybody who's watching, thank you for all those great questions. How do you talk to your boss? Let's say you're trying to craft a conversation to your boss about this. How do you start that one?
I think it's almost the reverse of what we were just talking about. It's, hey, Sally, I'm not feeling myself. I know you're counting on me to deliver this work product by this time. I'm really struggling. I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm wondering if we could talk about it. Is there any flexibility that you could offer with the deadline? Is there anything, maybe I need to work from home today because I'm just not able to engage in the way I used to. And this feels temporary. This feels unusual. I want to seek help, but I want to make you aware that these are some of the things I'm struggling with. So again, it's opening up that two-way conversation in a way that everybody gets on the same page and helps support one another.
I love that opening of this. I'm struggling right now, to be quite honest. And that's always a great way to start if that is what you're going through. So that's such a great way to start a conversation. But you've been so helpful, so many tips. Hopefully we're in the solution. Hopefully help someone this evening. I really do. And thank you so much for your time. Again, a people strategy expert. Don't we all need that? And you're starting an executive training program, right, for people to join?
Yeah, so I'm really branching out of the silo of just human resources and people strategy, and I'm tapping into the executive woman. There's so many unique challenges we face in the workplace as women, and the higher up we go, the more isolating it can become. And we share this common ground of typically being top performers, high achievers. We have all these goals, but we have a whole life outside of that still needs attention. And nobody talks about that, especially executive women over 40 or over 45. We're facing biological changes. We're facing changes in our homes. Oftentimes we're parenting our children and our parents. So there's all of these things that we're responsible for. And yet the resources and the conversations aren't happening. Everything is very vanilla in the conversation space. And we need to break through that and talk about what's really happening, how women are really being treated, the things they're facing, the reality of the work they're doing and how they're doing it, so that we can prepare the next generation of amazing executive women to follow a path with their eyes wide open and make choices and decisions based on actually knowing what's going to happen or what could happen.
Thank you so much. I mean, incredible, incredible show tonight. And we're always hoping that we've helped someone. And every night, don't forget to watch Monica Makes It Happen at 4, 5, and 6. We're going to have a housing special coming real soon. And thanks again to our expert. I hope you got something from tonight's show. And everyone, take care. And remember, we have the resources on our website as well, pix11.com. If you do need help, reach out to the experts. Thanks so much. And everybody, have a great night. We're making it happen.